Now you're seeing number one, living out this fantasy. I'm so happy, man. I'm so freaking happy. Yo! Oh, it's been too long. Too freaking long since I got to see Bleach freshly animated. Just a new episode. It is insane. It's been far too long. 10 years. I've been talking about this in my videos for Bleach and trailers, etc. I've been discussing the series, and it's been 10 years. Like, to put this all in perspective, when Bleach came to an end those many, many years ago, I was basically still in school. I was still in school, and that is the wild part to me, how long it's been. And at long last, the anime returns. And I'm just like, I'm happy. I'm happy to have Kurosaki Ichigo, Orihime, Chad, Ishida, all these characters, Yamamoto, oh my god, Yamamoto, I'll talk about that in a second, but just everything about this episode brought me joy. I know if we want to put every single scene, like if we want to go frame by frame, like throughout this episode, and put every single scene under the microscope, and I really wanted to do that, I could definitely find problems. But I'm not going to do that, because I think, for one, if we're not trying to really stare and really try to microscope it and try to find what's going wrong here with this episode, this is just fantastic. It's a return to form and an amazing episode of Bleach. And what better way to really kind of celebrate the fact that Bleach is just doing really good right now than the sheer fact that it is worldwide trending. Like, on social media right now, even Viz Media themselves tweeted out, Bleach trending worldwide. We're not talking about trending in the United States. We're not talking about trending in Japan. We're not talking about trending in just Europe. We're talking about trending worldwide, number one. Very fitting for the song that was used in this episode. Like, now you see number one. Okay, I'm sorry for the cringe. I know nobody came to watch this video for me to butcher that song and sing very poorly. But, the point is that I just think it's incredible that despite it being a 10-year gap for the anime, Bleach is still being able to move numbers. It is number one trending, people are excited for it, and even people that have never actually watched the series are like, should I watch this, or can I watch this right now? And I'm just gonna bring you the cold hard facts. No, you cannot watch Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War. You'll have to go watch the original. This is just basically like a part 2 to the story. It's like if you were to watch Naruto Shippuden without watching Naruto. That's literally what's going on here. Now, I'm just gonna get into some things here, okay? I want to be probably fanboying for a lot of this video, so bear with me. Like, I'm gonna be just fanboying. And like I said, I'm gonna try to discuss this, be logical about it and everything, but it's just been too long. Let me have my day. Let me have my day as a Bleach fan, okay? So, I want to tell you something. When the manga came to an end many, many years ago, don't worry, no spoilers, I know there's many anime-onlys out there. When the manga came to an end, I think the community collectively didn't really like the final section of the, Bleach saga. Now, there is some, obviously, that did like it, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I was definitely one of those in the past. If you go to my review videos of the manga, I definitely didn't like, some of the final chapters. And when you get more information about it later on after the series ended, with how Tite was kind of screwed over and all that, rushed, and all these little things, and kind of was the outcast in the magazine for Shonen Jump, and then he had to, make light novels to really give a lot more clarity or information to some things throughout the story. It was just very sad, and Tite, the author of Bleach, was just done so dirty. And after years of the manga being over, I've had a lot of time to really reflect on Bleach, to reflect on what the series meant as a whole, and if it really was a good series or not. And as I've gotten older, obviously, a lot of taste and different viewpoints and things change. Maybe what was once your favorite series might no longer be your favorite series, which is a good thing. It's good to find things that really make you happier, or something that beats your original favorite. And as I've grown in time, I used to look at Bleach, at least at the ending, in a little bit of a negative way with the manga. But as, like I said, I've gotten older, I've looked at it more in a positive light, and I realize what Tite Kubo was really trying to do with his final arc. He had such a huge vision, such a huge world, a great cast of characters, and just like, I was too young to really understand that. I think that's one thing I have learned over the years. I was too young to really understand the beauty and the magic that Bleach really had to offer, because when you think about Kurosaki Ichigo, his objective, his goals, they are kind of standard, but it does stick out. When you think about the common mold of a shonen, it's like, I want to be the Pirate King. I want to be, the Hokage. Stuff like that, Wizard King. And there's nothing wrong with those formats at all. I love those series. But the point is that Kurosaki Ichigo, when you think about his goal, his objective, he just wants to be with his friends, be happy, and kind of protect them. That's it. And it seems basic, which it is. But it's a very distinct difference in comparison to the huge, grand goals that you see in the other manga. And I feel like, when you're young, probably reading or watching Bleach, you might not be able to fully appreciate or understand just the simplicity and the greatness behind some of the goals of the characters, like, Kurosaki Ichigo. And like I said, I have grown very fond of the series as I've gotten older, and I'm happy to see that, despite all these years, it is getting the respect it deserves. So, enough with my little backstory with it. I just think it was very appropriate since, this is the first episode of the anime, and it's been so long since I've really covered content and reviewed content of Bleach. I felt like there needed to be clarity, because there might be some of you that will go back to my manga review videos and see that, and I just want to be honest. It's the truth. But, okay. Let's talk about some of these things with this episode. So, I guess the only negative thing that people could find with this episode, since we're already on the topic of that, is some of the CGI with the hollows. But, personally, I don't think it's bad. I'm just going to keep it real. I don't think the CGI with some of the hollows is legitimately bad, because I've seen bad CGI. I have legitimately seen bad CGI, and the CGI that was used in this episode of Bleach was great. It fit with the backgrounds. It wasn't bad. Didn't look like it was, stop motion animation or claymation or whatever, fake claymation. It looked legitimately like good CGI. So I really don't even think that's a negative, but I know if there's anyone that wants to kind of tear Bleach apart, that's what they're probably going to focus on for this episode. And that's the truth of the matter. Besides that, though, I am very happy to see a lot of the blood within this episode, because a lot of things have changed over the years, in the past decade, I think, in Japan, because, yes, we do get some bloody shows here and there every so often in Japan, but it's a rarity. Like, we don't get as much blood and violence as there used to be in anime. I feel like I've noticed that. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but at least that's what I've noticed over the years. And I'm happy to see that Bleach still has, like, this bloody stuff and all that, like, the bloody scene. I love seeing this stuff at the end here with, like, I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to spoil anything, but basically, like, you see, like, what's obviously the main villain, tearing the arm off of one of his subordinates. You just see his arm fall down and blood gushing. I love the uncensored nature of that. It's really, really reassuring to see, especially for events to come in the future of the story. So just shout outs to that. It is definitely something that is incredibly positive with this episode of Bleach. Now, one thing I think that was really cool is that the introduction of the characters here, like when, Ichigo and Chad, Ishida, or Hime, I really like their introductions here on the rooftop, because it's like, even though this is basically in the manga, if you didn't know anything, you would assume that, like, everything about this, like the introduction of the characters, like it was done with the song number 1 playing, was intentional. You would assume that maybe Tite Kubo designed this arc for, like, maybe an eventual continuation of the anime. That's what you thought. But obviously, I doubt that was the intention when he was writing this segment of the manga. But it's just very weird how things work out like that. Especially with, like, how we have at this ending, like, or this beginning where, the main villain waited for, like, 900 years, 90 years, even 9 years. And when you see all this, it's like, wow. It's kind of like saying we've waited 10 years, and it kind of all lines up with, what's being said here at the beginning. It's just weird how reality aligns with some of these aspects of the show, and I think that's pretty cool. It's a little nod. I know, once again, that wasn't intentional, but I do think that's really cool. Now, I think this whole reintroduction was very good, and the reason why is because it kind of goes back to the core concept of, these characters that we have known and loved for a very long time, but it has been a long time. It has been a long time since the manga came to an end. It's been a long time since the anime came to an end, as I've already said. And many probably have forgotten details. I know for a fact I have. I know for a fact if I was given a trivia for Bleach, I would probably fail it. It's the truth. I've definitely forgotten about a lot of things. It's been too long since I have basically read the manga and watched the anime. I have went back here and there to watch, let's say, clips or look at certain panels of the manga and watch the anime, but I haven't actually sat down and rewatched it or reread the manga and so on. So, I definitely have probably forgotten a few things, and I think that this little reintroduction with the character names, to showing the hollows and all that, it's good, and I think that finding out that, there's Quincy's and all that are alive and kind of attacking and declaring war on Soul Society is definitely an interesting twist, because we've been so accustomed, at least into this point, if you remember, Bleach, of, our characters fighting, like, maybe another Soul Reaper, or fighting, like, I guess Hollows, Arankar, and all of them. That's what we've kind of grown accustomed to. And so when you see that the Quincy's are kind of a threat, it's like, oh, we're finally getting into this lore that was kind of talked about a long time ago in, Bleach. Back basically at the beginning when Ishida's character was getting a lot of development, we're finally getting more lore to that. So yeah, just there's a lot of cool little segments to this episode. I mean, seeing, Ichigo having Bankai, and then the guy tried to steal it, but obviously wasn't able to be successful. It makes you wonder, why wasn't he successful, and what's going on there, and how do they have the capabilities of even doing that in the first place? Just, there's a lot. There's a lot of questions, a lot of greatness. The color palette's great. The art and line work is amazing. I mean, I have no complaints about the episode, and I think if there is one cherry on top that really makes this episode beautiful, is this little segment at the end where they have, like, the opening or ending song playing, and it shows kind of all the main key events of the original Bleach anime, showing frames and stuff, kind of reminding people of how far Bleach has come, how long it's been. It's a nice little montage. It made me cry. I cried twice while watching this. I cried while seeing this segment, and I cried when the number 1 started playing, because it's something unexpected. Like, I should have expected the song to play, but it was unexpected to hear it. It brought up so much emotion within me. It's good to have Bleach back. It really is. It is a good day, and it's a good day to be a Bleach fan. It's a good day to be an anime fan, and I'm happy to see Bleach, getting the respect it does indeed deserve. And so, I guess this video wouldn't be a Bleach video if I didn't reference King of Lightning and said, Taite Kubo's finest work! I always love saying that. Ever since I heard King of Lightning say that, I've always loved that. But okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Let us enjoy this 52-episode journey of Bleach. Hopefully, I'll see you guys again for the next video. But with that, I love you guys. Be safe. Leave me a like if you enjoyed it. Chibi out.